All right, welcome back to another show, everybody. This is You May Roscoe. I am Roscoe. I'm here with my partner in crime, OG Zoe. And today's show, we're gonna be going over an article that Zoe brought to the table as usual, where there was a older guy, a guy whose name I will David Bennett is his name, but he was given a pig heart transplant. Crazy enough, so I'm guessing that this is the first successful transplant that has been done with a pig heart inserted inside of a human. So before we continue, I'm gonna go ahead and read the article, and Zoe's gonna show everybody else the article as I'm reading it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. David Bennett is the guy in question, 57, was convicted of the 1988 stabbing of Edward Schumacher. His sister told Radio 4's Today Show. All right. Leslie Schumacher Downey, which is the sister, said that her brother died in 2007 after almost 2 decades of medical complications linked to the attack. She said Mr. Bennett was an unworthy recipient of the pioneering surgery. But the team who carried out the operation said that someone's criminal record could never be grounds for refusing them treatment. The attack took place in April 1988 when Mr. Bennett's wife sat on the lap of Mr. Schumacher, who was 22 at the time, Mrs. Downey said. In an apparent jealous rage, Mr. Bennett stabbed Mr. Schumacher in the back repeatedly. Mr. Bennett was found guilty of battery and carrying a concealed weapon and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Mrs. Downey said that nobody had contacted her about Mr. Bennett receiving the pig heart and only heard the news when her daughter messaged her. My daughter sent me an instant message and said, "Mom, this is the man who stabbed Uncle Ed." Then I read the story and I got angry because he received the heart, she said. Mr. Bennett is recovering after the experimental 7-hour procedure in Baltimore. The transplant was considered the last hope of saving Mr. Bennett's life, though it is not yet clear what his long-term chances of survival are. But Mrs. Downey said that she did not believe he deserved the heart. They're putting Bennett in the storylines, portraying him as a hero and a pioneer, but he's nothing of that sort. I think the doctors who did the surgery should be getting all the praise for what they have done, not Mr. Bennett. Mr. Schumacher was confined to a wheelchair as a result of the attack before he had a stroke in 2005 and died 2 years later. My brother suffered for 19 years, and the outcome, it was my whole family suffered. I'm not sure how that was kind of written crazy. I'm not gonna go through the whole article. We kind of get the gist at this point, but it seems like the guy in question, Mr. Bennett, the guy who received the pig heart, and we heard the story. I just want to get your thoughts first of all before I say anything else. So about what you felt about this story.
I think it's kind of amazing, but kind of scary at the same time.
Right.
Man, I honestly think that she's given him more praise than anybody's given him. I mean, if anything, the doctors are the ones that did the surgery, so they are the ones that are getting praised.
Right.
I don't think that they were making him like. I mean, if anything, it was a pioneer. I think they were meaning the surgery was like the first of its kind. So I don't think they were basically giving him any credit other than just being there. But I mean, I don't know. It kind of goes into the thing is, I mean, if the man served 10 years, do you think that at what point do you get a little redemption?
I mean, let me ask you this then. Do you think that she's correct in the way that she feels as far as him not being worthy to receive this heart?
It's not on her. It's not on her. Like a lot of times, man, people think their opinions matter when they really don't. Like you're able to have one, yeah, but that doesn't mean that it matters. So I mean, you're looking at it from a personal point of view, just because you had some skin in the game, and your husband was, or your husband or brother
It was a brother,
was,
yeah.
yeah, was a case of mistaken identity. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't feel bad, but like shit does happen, and like, yeah. So I don't think that I think she's given more bearing, and I don't think she should have to. She should have the choice. A lot of times, that's kind of what it is. Maybe they got him in while he was in like a prison, and he had do this experimental um new
Transplant.
surgery, or maybe maybe he had something wrong with his heart, and he met the criteria. So at that point, it doesn't mean anything about her personal feelings, because
Mhm.
facts don't care about feelings, man. Like, that's
Mhm.
just what it is. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just I'm just curious. Like, is he like disgusted by the smell of bacon, or like, or, like,
Just
does he
start
want to
making
eat
pig
slop
certain
every now and
sounds.
then? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
no.
they say that happens when you get like other organs from other humans. You take over some of their traits, or you can memories and shit. So
Right, right, right. Yeah, no, I want to. I guess I disagree with you a little bit. As far as the lady and the way that she feels about it. I think that she's more than valid in the way that she feels. I will agree that with you when you say that the doctors, they not concerned about that, because they worried about trying to further science and all that type of stuff. So that's what's happening on their end. But for her, she has to like live with the fact that this dude's life could have ended, and they chose to save the life of somebody who's taken an important life away from her, as far as she sees. So um when you look at it like that, I'm always like just more sympathetic to the person who's had something taken away from them. But um just going back to what you said about how the overarching theme about this being just furthering science and helping other people when it's all said and done, because if they're successful with this one, which it seems like that they were, they'll be able to perform these type of surgeries in the future, and save a lot of lives of a lot of men, women, kids. So with that being said, I guess you have to take a little bit of the good with the bad, I guess. you know.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't let your emotions get in the way of progress. I mean, it's something that could help people in the future. It's kind of scary at the same time, but I mean, I've heard that pig organs, or like pigs are the closest to humans,
Mhm.
like the tissue and all the stuff. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. And on top of that too, when you're at doctors, you have to look at a certain like subjects or patients have to meet certain criterias.
Right.
So when you're looking at a person, you're like, oh, this is the perfect subject for this test or this theory.
Right.
You can't then put into like human relations, like, well, how was this person on the outside? Because that
Right.
stuff does not matter when you're trying to get results
Right.
on a base. So I don't know, man. It's weird, but I think everybody deserves at least a second chance. A little redemption, as long as they're showing good faith. I mean, he hasn't probably, as long as he hasn't been out there stabbing anybody else, he did his time. Who am I to judge? I can't judge a person on that. That's for when you go upstairs to meet the big man. But
Mhm.
all I have to do is be able to commingle with you or not live with you. So just turn the other cheek. It doesn't matter, because
Yeah.
they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I mean, especially in the medical field,
Hmm.
a lot of these people that are subjects are people that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford these surgeries. So they get them done when they're still experimental,
Mhm.
or they get them done when they're being like lab rats, man. Like you try this free trial, you get paid for it. I mean, there's a lot of people that do this shit on the regular, where they go and take different type of concoction of pills just to get paid because they're testing stuff out. So
Yeah. No, and a lot of the times, man, you know, these people, whether it's at risk people or people who are like this guy was locked up, you know, and dealing with some issues, you know, so they gonna use people like that in these experiments all the time, you know. So, and yeah, you're right. These are people who in normal circumstances, you know, they'd have no chance of receiving some of these procedures that are going to help other people along the way eventually. But with that being said, I don't want to beat the story over the head too much, but it looks like at the end of the day, like this lady is just gonna have to suck it up. I hate that it's like that, you know, because you know, in a perfect world, you'd hope and think that this surgery could have been done on somebody who I guess is deemed worthy, you know, and
in a
then
perfect world, he wouldn't have stabbed nobody.
I guess. I guess, you know, and Miss Schumacher would have a brother, you know. So again, I just don't know what to make of it. It's just crazy world that we live in. But I just hope that you know, the surgeries do help people, and that's what it looks like it's gonna be happening at the end of the day. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe to You Made Roscoe on YouTube. Also go over to the Facebook page, You Made Roscoe, where you can catch the videos there as well. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, man.
No, me neither. Me neither. Me and Zoe, we gonna get up out of here. We'll see you guys again soon. Peace.
Deuces.